Hello everybody, hello, I'm back again with another one of our projects for the BackDrops number 5 series. This time I've kind of got these cut out, but this is a 6 by 3 3/4 piece of the BackDrops that's on the other side, which I absolutely love. This time in fact I've decided to go for the yellow side. So I'm just going to ink around there. I've scuffed the edges with a, one of these things. Mine's from Crafter's Companion, but Timmy does one as well. And I think actually it's getting close to the time where I need to renew mine because it's a little bit blunt. You can use your scissors to do it. You don't have to go and buy them. They're not that expensive in fairness. And they just make it look a little bit more worn, which is kind of what I'm after. So this series, using the BackDrops, I'm going for kind of a botanical theme, loosely, It doesn't have to be true botanical drawings or anything. I just mean including plants and butterflies and pretty things. So I'm going to ink the back of this because sometimes that paper, once you've distressed it, you can see the back on the front. So I'm going to ink both sides. And then we can, this tag, I must tell you, it's just a bit of fun really. It's kind of not serious. It doesn't take itself seriously. You'll see when I get to it what I'm talking about. So that's that. It's inked, it's scuffed up and it's inked, that's fine. And I've cut myself a piece of, this is kind of copier paper except it's light cream colour. So I've opted to use it, and it's just going to sit inside there like that. But we need to ink it. Of course we need to ink it. And for that I'm going to use pumice stone. Don't often use pumice stone, but I have it. And I'm just going to use one of these daubers, I think, because I don't want to use one of these daubers because, like I say, I hardly ever use it. So I'm just going to kind of do my best. It's got a kind of greeny undertoneness to it actually, this pumice stone. It doesn't matter if you crinkle the edges up. If you're using copy paper, it's likely that you will crinkle the edges a little bit, but it doesn't matter. So get yourself plenty ink around the edge, in the corners. And then I'm just going to come in a little bit from the edges. And it doesn't matter that it's not uniform. It'll be fine. It'll be alright on the night, as they say. As who says, I've no idea. But somebody somewhere must have said it. So I'm just kind of filling this space up with just loosely inked really, I guess you could say. So let's put that away. Let's put them away actually, as I'm finished with them. And then I've got a piece of blue roll here, that'll do nicely. So I'm going to spray it again because I want it all, well, I don't know what you'd call it really, bubbly I suppose. So that's probably sufficient, might be too much, don't know. So let's just give that a minute to work its magic. You can use your heat tool on it actually just to dry it a little bit, but I can see it starting to go. It's like magic, it really is like magic. So let's just, do you think that's enough? I don't know. Let's give it a try. You can always spray water on it again, you know. if it's not enough for you. Yeah, I think I need more water on it. A little bit more water. Because I want the grey there, but I don't want it. I was going to take my heat tool to it just to start it off drying a little bit. But you don't want to use it so much that it stops the water working. So just a little bit of heat. That's fine. And I'm still going to give it a second or two. So I want it looking all, you know how it does when I've splashed it. Okay, let's take that off, see what we got. I like this because you can't possibly know what it's like until you do. Ah, that's better. That's looking much better. Much more mottled. I like mottled, that's what I was going for. So I'm just going to give this a quick waft because it's just a little bit damp. That's fine. Right, so now I'm going to distress the edge of this with my paper distresser, and it's a bit more tricky with this very thin paper. You've kind of got to hold it upright, support it. But it doesn't matter how distressed it gets, it'll be fine. I always find it really tricky getting right into the corners. Turn it over and do it that way, I guess. So Mr. F's still on his mad clearing and cleaning. He really has worked hard this last few weeks. I just want to dig into that a bit more. I want the edges looking really distressed. That's decided to curl up, but that's alright, we'll let it curl up. So it's going to look as distressed as it wants to. There's one of these that is a bit sharper, yeah, that one. Okay, so that's fairly distressed looking. Got a little tear there, that's good. Right, so now we can start to build. Actually, I might stick that onto there now. It's going to be easier to do that at this stage. So let's ink around there. And I'm actually going to ink with hickory smoke. So it's a bit prem putting my daubers away. Just hickory smoke is a grey as well as the burlap. So, juggling is my game. So just go around the edges there. And where the corners have curled up, just to exaggerate that a little bit. I really had the intention when I first started, or first conceived of the idea of using the full BackDrops number 5 kit, of making it really pretty, you know, because there's a lot of pastel shades in this. And I thought, oh, I can make Timmy, but I can make it really pretty. And these first two things that I'm showing you are really quite grungy, but who knows where we go from there, because I don't. And once again, this is a Pinterest inspiration piece, so I'm going to stick that down onto there. It'll be easier now than when we've done what we're going to do. there we are. You can use either side of this paper. I just decided this time to use the yellow. Just lighten it up a little bit. There we go. That looks nice and suitably distressed, I think. Right, let's put the hickory smoke and the pumice stone away because we've finished with those. Right, so for the next trick, I have got some of this, and it's Timmy, but I think it's probably Timmy of old, really. And it's textured surfaces, it is, and you get, I think you get a collection of adhesive back textured surfaces that can be altered, and you get some cork, you get some burlap, and I think you also got some heavyweight cardstock in with it, but Mr. F bought it second hand and there was no cardstock in with ours. I've got a piece already out that I've used, and somewhere I've got a little template. Okay, where are you? Oh, come on. Found it. Here it is. Except that I don't want to make it quite so tall. So I'm going to chop a bit off the bottom. Like that. And this is going to be our little plant pot. So, I'm just going to do it here. And draw around it. It is just plant pot shaped. I mean, there's no secret to this. It's just something that looks a bit like a plant pot, and you'll be near enough. So there we are. Let's cut that out. And it's great because this is burlap, but it's on an adhesive back, so it doesn't fray everywhere. I'm pretty sure he doesn't still make these. Obviously didn't sell well enough. Because ideology, don't take any prisoners. If it's not selling, it's gone. Which is fair enough. There we go. So that's going to be our little plant pot. Ooh, that doesn't look very symmetrical. Let's just doctor that a little bit. That's better. It doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, it looks nicer if it's not exactly perfect. There we go. Right, so that wants to get stuck down there. And then we're going to have some fun. That's it. So I want that down about, maybe need to be a bit further over. Yeah, that's fine. Something like that. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself a circle out. This is my 2-inch, 2-inch punch. I'm just looking for some card. Here's some here. There we go. And now my secret weapon, which is this stuff, which is moss, apparently. So I bought it online. I bought, for those of you in England, Britain I should say, I bought this off Budley Crafts. They do school supplies and stuff like that. So this was ridiculously cheap. I don't know, if I was, if you're in the States, have a look at, people that do sell to primary schools and that sort of thing. Because usually their prices are very competitive. So, right, now I want to put some glue on this. But I don't want to put glue over the whole thing because I can't get... I'm just going to do half. And I'm going to put a goodly amount of glue down. You could use hot glue. This is one of these times when hot glue might be a good idea. So I'm going to take some moss and just literally throw it at that glue. Put it on quickly before my glue dries. And you will get some holes, etc., but largely just make sure it's on there. It doesn't appear to want to stick here, so let's just add some more glue. This has got like horrible brown bits in it, which I just pick out when I come to them. I think you can get embossing powder now that's like moss. Maybe Seth Apter or somebody like that, I don't know. I just remember seeing it somewhere. So I've got all sorts of little holes here. So I'm just going to stick some glue in them. Got a big hole there. Stick some more moss in it. And just keep going really. Brown there. So I'm just going to pick out those bits of brown. Oh, that was obviously attached to quite a lot. So there, that's not too bad. So now I'm going to do the other half. So good layer of glue everywhere. And get your moss. And stick it on. Oh, big nasty brown bit. So I've got some holes to fill. Big one there. And a little one here. So it just takes time just to get everything stuck down. I think that's not too bad. Might have a little hole going on here. So like I said, it's just a fun card. It's certainly not to be taken seriously, but I quite like it. Right, so I'm just going to set that aside and let that dry. Give it a really good press down. And just let it dry. And while that's drying, I just want to add a little bit along the top of this pot. Ooh, I've got moss sticking to my glue. So I'm going to put it just above the pot there and maybe just coming down like that. So let's just get some, stick it on there. The bits that aren't attached to the glue will eventually fall off, so don't worry about that. We can give it a good tap on the back when we think we've got enough. So I'm kind of overfilling this bit really, because I know that some of it just won't stick. So there we go. So it's just a bit of moss around the top of the plant pot. Bit of tree bark or something there. And I'm just going to put back all my little remnants that I've got, because they will come in for the next time. I didn't realise when I ordered it that this was quite such a large bag of moss. But I think it would be nice, you know, in birds' nests and where you've got birds standing on trees or whatever, you know, just a little bit of moss, I think would be okay. I'm pretty sure that they sell this to people who make model railway setups, you know. Where's my tiny section? I'm just going to staple this shut, because I think it's probably the most effective way of stopping everything dropping out. Oh, I've gone through the exact same place as I did yesterday. There we go, so that's safely in there. Right, so is this one sort of dried? So I'm just going to roughly cut around the outside. I don't want it to look tidy, but I want it a bit tidier than it is. Got a big brown bit there. Oh, that's it. So that's okay. I think that's okay. I should have put these back in the bag, but I'm not reopening it now. So let's give that a tap on the back. See what falls off. Not much. That's okay then. And same with this. Let's just give it a tap on the back. That's all right. We're not losing very much at all. So that it must be stuck on, one would think. Excellent. So ultimately, of course, that's going to go there. So we're going to have a bay tree or whatever the heck it is. Just thinking that's a bit big. I think I'll trim it nearer to the circle. Maybe not on the circle, but closer to it, because it looked just a little bit dominant. Well, a lot dominant, who am I kidding? There we go. Yeah, that looks better. That looks nice now. Right, so what we need is something to connect that to that. And I haven't got a stamp or anything magical like that, so I'm just going to draw one on. I've got three brown fine liners here. They're all slightly different shades and slightly different thicknesses. Let's start with this one. It's a dark one. So I want to just come up there like that, maybe a little bit further. So just want a stem, that's all. Just draw some wiggly lines in there. And this one I think might be darker. Oh no. So I'm just filling that in with wiggles and squiggles. I think that's okay. That looks like a stem. And I want to ground this pot because at the moment it's just floating free in space. So I'm just going to draw a line underneath it, quite a thick line, like that, and then come off the sides and around there. And which is the darkest one? Must be this one. So there we are, it's kind of grounded it, it's given it something to stand on. Right, so need to stick this in place now. I'm treating it with kid gloves. I've no idea why, because I'd rather the moss fell off now if it's going to fall off. I think the moss has blocked my glue nib nozzle. So let's just pop that there. Perfect. Perfectly perfect. Let's move it up a bit. Why not? To there. That's great. I like it. And I have a notion, although I don't know if it's going to work. Let's just clean that nozzle. It's got all moss on it. To put a bow on it. I was going to put a bow on here. I don't know. Give me a sec. I'll go and find a bow. Right, well, I've found a bag that's got some, I don't think these are all, but some bows in them. They all seem to be nice different colours. So, I've got that green one. And I've got yellow. Might go with that. Let's try that. It's in a different bag. I'm not saying this is going to work, I'm just seeing if it would. So if I put that up there like that, what do we think of that? It's quite nice. It's quite nice. What happens if I put it on there? I don't know. I don't know, I could be swayed either way here. So I've got a nice green one. It's all a bit of much of a muchness, isn't it, that green? Or I've got pink. Don't think pink goes given the yellow background. So it's yellow or nothing, I would say. So I could stick that down there. So the choices are that there or that there. Which do we like? I think I prefer it there, which is a surprise because I didn't think I would. So that's great. Let's stick it on. I always have a dickens of a job telling which is the right side of this, but once again your hot glue gun would come in really handy at this stage. But mine's in a drawer somewhere, so see how much of this moss I can actually get under. It looks like it's growing over the top. Just that bit there. Okay. So I'm just going to hold that for a second till it... I think it should be alright, but the burlap's going to be quite thirsty, so it might take all the glue and we might need to put some more on, is what I'm saying. Okay, fine. So I think that's pretty much it. It's kind of nice actually, isn't it? If you had any little red beads or yellow beads, you could add them to there, but this is just getting silly now. So what I want is some card to back it with, and I've just got this big piece of A3, which is going to be plenty enough. Oh, I quite like it actually. It's fun, isn't it? I told you it was going to be fun today. So I want all the journaling cards and everything to be completely functional. Just like when we did Edith. So you can take them and put them in a journal and they'll do the job they were intended for. Right. This might just stick out a little bit. because we've scuffed that yellow paper, but that's okay. We're going to ink it anyway. There we go. Just going to get my bone folder out and make sure that that's properly stuck down. So there we go, let's cut that out. Concentration. Can you tell? I'm not saying a word. I'm just concentrating. There we go. And there's our card. But I'm just going to ink around the edge first. Just to finish it off. There we go. There's our journaling card for today. I hope you like it. It's just fun. I'm sure I did another prototype. Yeah, here it is. And on that one, I put twine around the pot instead of the bow, and I put the word grow. But I think that bow works well. I like it. So there we have it, today's little project. Of course, if you haven't got moss, I don't know what you could use. I honestly don't know. I think these shadows underneath here need beefing up a bit. Don't look like it's sitting on anything very much. That's a bit better. This one looks a bit poorly as well. There we go, that's better. Right, so that's it, guys. This one, as you can see, I used the other side of the paper. I've backed it now so you can't tell, but it's the other side of the yellow paper. But given that we've used a yellow bow, I'm really pleased that we used the yellow paper. And here it's a kind of grungier looking one because of the background paper, but we've put the twine bow in and the little word that says grow. So yeah, there we go. Just a bit of fun. So I'll see you very soon. We'll carry on. Thanks for joining me. Bye.